will be recorded. Can I also welcome any members of the public and press to today's meeting? Can I kindly ask you to observe the meeting only and not to speak or participate? Can I please remind you all to switch your phones to silent for the duration of the meeting? In addition, can I refer you to the protocol on remote meetings, which have been previously circulated, namely, your microphone should be switched to mute unless speaking. You should wish to ask questions or make a comment. Can you please indicate either via the chat function or by raising your electronic hand via Teams? I will assume that you've all read your paperwork before us. Today's pre-meeting. Please only use the chat function to indicate if you wish to speak as an alternative to the electronic hand function or to raise any technical issues. When asking a question, can you please indicate which page number you are referring to? The first item on the agenda is to do a roll call. I am Councillor Sheila Penry, the Chair, and I am present. I will now call on Chloe, the Democratic Service Officer, to take the roll call.
Thanks,
Chloe,
Chair.
I hand over to you.
Thank you.
I hope you were dead with Colmanite voice.
Councillor Robert Wood.
Present.
Councillor Howard Aubrey.
Present.
Councillor Charlotte Galsworthy.
Present.
Councillor Jeremy Hurley.
Present, thank you.
Councillor Dennis Keogh.
Present.
Councillor Adam McGrath. Councillor Christopher Jones.
Present.
Councillor Wyndham Griffiths.
I'm here. Present.
Councillor Ros Davis.
Presennol, present.
Councillor Joe Hale.
Present, Charlotte. Chloe, sorry.
Councillor Simon Noyle. No. And Cabinet members, Councillor Edward Latham.
Yeah, morning, Chloe. Yeah, I'm here.
Councillor Annette Wingrave.
Present, Chloe.
And then officers, Mike Roberts.
Here.
Yeah. Dave Griffiths. No. And Andrew Lewis.
Yes, morning, Chloe.
Have I missed anyone? I think that's everyone though.
Thank you for that, Chloe.
Thanks, Chair.
We move on now then to the second part of the agenda, declaration of interest. Is there any declaration of interest from any members? I can't see that any hands are up, Chloe. So we move on to item 3, Streetcare, update on services, highlighting the forward work programme, pages 3 to 14. Mr. Roberts, I hand over to you.
Thank you, Chair. I've provided a report which covers the 3 topic areas that were identified in a recent meeting between members of the Scrutiny Committee and Democratic Services. Those topic areas are covered in appendices A, B and C of the report that's presented to committee. I don't know if you want to take them each in turn, Councillor Penry.
Yes, we have got a few questions. Anybody want to ask questions?
So if we deal with Appendix A first, which is the
Oh, sorry, I do apologise there. Yes, we go to Appendix A first. Any questions on Appendix A? Councillor Wood,
Chair, my question is on Appendix B.
on B, right. Councillor Goldsworthy, you want anything on A?
Councillor
Chair,
Griffiths has got
Chair.
his hand up for Appendix A.
Right, I call in on Griffith. Your hand is up.
Are you breaking up, Chair, a little? Yeah, my question is on the bulk collections, page 5. As there is a demand for the bulk service, and we had 2 vehicles during the year providing the service, but then we're back to 1. Why can't we reinstate the other vehicle? As looking at it, that the cost to the householders is £20. We collect 20 appointments per day, so that's an income of £400 per day. Multiplied by 5, that's £2,000 per week. Why that couldn't pay for a crew and the upkeep for a lorry? Because you know, if you paid the crew £500 a week, there's 2 crew, and there's another £1,000 then for the upkeep of the lorry, and that's, you know, just being so. Is there any reason that we can't do that, so that then we may just decrease the flight tipping, perhaps? Thank you.
Chair, if I come in, I think one vehicle, I mean, Andrew may like to add to this afterwards, but one vehicle has certainly been adequate previously. Obviously, we did have a shutdown of as part of the lockdown earlier on in the year, and that did lead to a backlog of demand for services. And so there's been an element of backlog that we've had to catch up with. So we have put on an extra crew. Of course, we're juggling resources across a range of services with you know, dealing with COVID related absences, and if before you take on more people and take on a permanent budget liability for more vehicles and more people, you need to be certain of what income you've got and that would cover the services. We wouldn't take people on permanently just for a short-term peak in demand.
Thank you for that. Councillor Hale, you wanted to come
Councillor Hale, Chair.
Yes, morning. I'd just like to raise something. The food waste this week was dropped outside a house in Penywern and basically left there. And when the resident rang customer services, they were told they wouldn't be able to come and pick it up for a week. And then we got involved and they picked it up the next day. But my argument is, why did they leave it there? And why couldn't they have, you know, picked it up? Because leaving it there is only going to cause, you know, vermin or people, or it'll be spread all over the pavement or the road or whatever else.
I can't possibly comment this morning on one individual case, Council. I mean, we are, you know, we're dealing with 66,000 collections a week. Obviously, nothing should get left behind. That's the aim, and it's certainly one of the things we want to encourage the public to do, is to maximise the amount of food waste they put out for collection. We had an increase last year of 600 tonnes in the year on the back of a lot of the promotional work that we've been doing. So you know, the service is generally working well. But you know, I'm happy to talk to you about any specific instance. I mean, obviously, we wouldn't want to be leaving, as you say, we wouldn't want to be leaving food waste around on the streets, you know, attracting animals and vermin.
Sorry, can I just come back? But my argument is not so much at you. You know, customer services saying that nobody could come out for a week. I mean, that is ridiculous, isn't it? To think that they could leave. And it's not just one incident. I get lots of people, I'm not saying food waste, you know, where they just leave in a mess after they've been through with the crew. And, you know, it's just left there.
Councillor Latham, you want to come in?
Yeah, Chair. I think Mr. Roberts answered it earlier with respect to Councillor Hale. I mean, this is an individual situation that he can't comment on, and you know, we're going away from the agenda here. If Councillor Hale has got an issue, then I'm sure the officers will speak to them later. But I don't think you can expect officers to deal with an individual case today on something that happened earlier in the week that they've got no idea about.
Thank you for that.
Councillor Galsworthy, Chair.
Yes, before I bring Galsworthy in, I was going to come back to Councillor Hale and ask you to have a word with the right officer, you know, because it's your area and it's not on the agenda this morning. But thank you for that. Councillor Galsworthy. Councillor Charlotte Galsworthy, do you want to come in?
Yeah, sorry, I'm still in the habit of putting the hand down rather than putting the mute, unmute. In regards to the equipment deliveries, we've seen an increased demand for recycling kit, it states. So my question is, have we actually seen an increase in the figures for recycling, obviously with the demand of the recycling kit, or is it more around people taking the time now to renew, obviously, the old sort of kit? You know, the reasons behind it, were there just to replace or additional? My second question is on the AHP. Obviously, I welcome this project. I think it's fantastic and well needed. But I'd like to know, is it actually connected with health, social care? In regards to obviously adult nappies and that, because what I find is that there are a lot of people currently that doesn't know about the collection currently for obviously adult pads, etc. with health. So lots of the issues in a lot of the, like lanes and that, and black bags or excess is a lot of nappies, etc. as you know. So I would like to see that it's linked with social services as well as health. So then we've got a bit of a system that where we know where obviously them houses are as well, if possible.
Okay, Chair, on the kit, I think just one example that I just gave you, last year the green waste grew by 600 tonnes a year. So that's the sort of thing. The curbside collection is growing and continues to grow. And yes, I think in the past we've had some equipment as well, which perhaps wasn't of a as good a standard as we'd liked. And we know some of the old food boxes and things have had broken lids. But the service is growing, and is some of the issues around. I think I've explained to you before. You know, there's a lot of the different materials that make up the council's performance, and it's a lot of the issues outside of the curbside collection at the household, which tends to impact on the council's performance levels. So whilst the curbside is growing, there's been issues, for example, with the definition of the food waste, with the wood waste, and with wood waste recycling, which adverse effect on our performance with changes in the national requirements, whilst at the same time the curbside system was continued to grow.
Do you want to come back, Councillor?
Yeah, no, my question was there obviously when they're actually ordering the new equipment, obviously was as the figures of recycling increased, or were the reasons more around replacing new for old?
Okay, I think that question is asked when people order, and I don't know if Andrew's got the answer to that, whether they're ordering replacement, or there's definitely additional kit going out, because I say the service is growing, but Andrew may have the breakdown of the between the two.
Okay, lovely, thanks.
Yeah, it is a mixture of both. I haven't got the detail with me. I can get that. But yes, recycling does seem to be on the up on the curbside. But the stats is early days yet.
Thanks.
I can't see that anybody else has got any questions on this item. So shall we move on then?
No one answered me
the-
AHP.
Yeah, there was one other question there, sorry, Chair, which was about are we linking with social care? As you say, we do have a hygiene service at the moment, which you know, for people with medical conditions who need who have waste that isn't covered by the NHS's collections. We do provide that service, and I think all the details are available online. Always happy to increase links with other service areas if you're identifying issues that needs to happen. But I wasn't aware that we did have any issues, and I know that's the hygiene service is something which we've prioritised and continued along with other waste services throughout the whole sort of COVID emergency. But we're happy to talk to colleagues in social care if you think that perhaps we're missing a link there.
Yes, and I'm happy to give you that information outside the meeting, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all. I can't see that there is anybody else wanting to ask questions on this item. So shall we go to Appendix B? I know your report is here, Mr. Roberts, but do you want to add anything to your report?
I think on